All right, guys, so today's project I only wanted to work on till around lunchtime, and then I wanted to jump on to wet sanding body panels because I plan on trying to paint my body panels maybe Friday. So there's something that's been bothering me that I wanted to try because it's basically an experiment. Anyway, so I'll get you started. Here we go. So what I'm working on is the front bench seat upholstery. So I have the original 55 front bench seat, and I had blasted all the parts, the seat frame, the springs, everything got blasted and painted black. So back in 2014, 2015, I ordered a brand new pre-molded front seat foam set for just the front seat. I didn't want to spend the money on the rear seat because that stupid foam's like $260 back then. I don't know what it is now, just for one seat. And, it was going to be another $260 for the rear seat. And I just decided I'm just going to build the foam for the back seat myself because it's pretty basic. These front seats are pretty specific the way the top rolls around on a 55 and 56 seat. So that pre-molded set was, pretty much, I needed it. I am not an upholstery guy. I've been around it most of my life, but I've never upholstered a 55 Chevy. I've always had my seats done, but I always had them order extra material in, and I did all my door panels, kick panels, package tray, all that stuff myself. But I have put a lot of pre-sewn seat covers on G-bodies and C10s. Those are pretty basic. They don't have the spring pack stuff like that. They're just pretty much like a G-body is just a seat shell with a steel shell with a pre-molded foam in it, and you just hog ring the cover on them. They're pretty simple. But anyway, so I ordered a pre-molded or pre-sewn seat cover set from Ciadella because they have all the patterns. So it's what they specialize in, is the old cars. So anyway, what I got into was when I took my seat apart to check it out, the spring packs right here, which go on here, mine were just rusty and broken, and the driver's side one was just caved in. It was collapsed. So I bought reproductions. And when I got them in, I made an attempt to try to go ahead and put one of the seat backs together to see how everything fit. And I did this, I think it was last summer, because there's a video on my channel. I was having hell, man. This spring pack is so stiff and so thick, like I can barely push that in. It was trying to split the seams in my seat cover, just trying to hog ring it on. It had that much tension on it. So a guy at Tri5 posted a picture of, at the top here, this is the top, you're supposed to put a piece of burlap across here, and I think it was 4 inches wide, and you're supposed to hog ring it on. Well, this up here, this is very easy to move. So this is not that big of a deal. It's like the center is where all the tension is, especially these sides. But anyway, it's just super thick, and it just wasn't going to work. And I messed with it, and I messed with it, and I messed with it, and I got pretty frustrated with it. I ended up bending the springs around and everything, trying to make it a little less stiff, and it's just too much work. It was over my head. I'm not a professional upholstery guy, so I am sure an experienced upholstery guy could make those work, but me, not so much. So what I did, this is an experiment. I have not ever seen this done. I'm sure somebody probably has, but I haven't seen it done, and I just thought I would try it. And I gotta say, for getting started on this, I am already pretty damned impressed, and I think it's gonna work. What I did with the frame here is I drilled the spot welds out of these brackets and I removed them. And then at that point, I got some strap steel, which is 1/8 inch by 1/2 inch wide, and they were like, I don't know, 3 feet long or 2 feet long or something. And then I bought a big sheet of 16 gauge sheet metal, and I basically welded it in the seat frame. So I've got the 2 straps across there at an angle, and then welded the sheet metal. And the sheet metal's cut out exactly to fit down inside, so it's all welded. But anyway, that allows the foam to set on there. And I basically replaced the spring packs with foam. I bought a huge piece of 4 inch foam, and I used an electric knife and I cut it out. Now I used the spring pack, I laid it face down, and I traced it out with a Sharpie, and that's how I got my shape. Now these spring packs, the top's pretty much straight, but the bottom is angled, so the seat will fold forward. So what I did was I angle cut the bottom. There's the piece I cut out down there. But anyway, so I angle cut the bottom so it will basically, it would fold forward. But anyway, after I got all the welding done, I spray glued the foam piece into the frame, and then I put on the pre-molded foam on top of it, and then I put my cover on, and I started putting a few hog rings in it, and I'm already impressed. I think it's going to work. Now, of course, there's lots of tweaking I'm going to have to do. You know, if you've ever done seat covers, you know, and you're not a professional, you'll hog ring it on, and then you'll have to end up pulling hog rings out and pulling or stretching or doing something, and then you basically have to tweak it over and over and over until you get it dialed in. So it is very tedious work. It's labor intensive. I don't have this end hog ringed on, and I don't have this end hog ringed on. I did have a few in it, but I took them back out. I've actually got to pull the cover this way a little bit and then re-hog ring it. So I think it's going to work. I mean, you can see some wrinkles here, but I don't have this tight yet. But I think this is going to end up working out pretty freaking nice, man. I'm pretty impressed with it. And now I know why, you know, upholstery shops charge so much money to do upholstery. This is not easy work, man. This is just a few hours of me messing with this. My hands are already sore. So, you know, then there's those pieces here that go up in here like this. I have to upholster these. These have to be wrapped. And then the seat shells, all 4 pieces, which all my seat parts are already blasted and painted black. So I don't have to go do any messy work. I've pretty much just this easy stuff. But, well, I say it's easy. It's not really. But anyway, so I got to do my seat shells and I got to do everything else. But at least I don't have to blast and paint and do all that stuff. But anyway, I think this is going to work. And I got to say, I'm pretty impressed. Now, these covers, you know, I had Ciadilla make them for me because they have the patterns to all the old cars, and this is what they specialize in. They do reproduction seat cover sets and door panels and stuff for, you know, our cars. But anyway, I changed it up. My car was originally coral and gray, and this is the exact reproduction of what was in my car, the gray here. This is gray straw cloth is what this is called, but this is the matching off the trim tag. This is what originally was in my car. I just changed this to black, because originally mine was coral up here. But I went with a factory 55 Belair brow in the front and the back seats. I also had them do the armrest, pre-sewn armrests. I have to upholster the armrests because Belair is all its own. And I also had to do the rear armrests pre-sewn as well, and they're here. But I have extra of the straw cloth material, and I have extra of the black Alante to do my door panels, package tray, kick panels, you know, rear side panels and stuff. So anyway, this is Alante. This is what this is called. Now, this is vinyl, but this is a leather simulate. This is super duper soft. I mean, this stuff is so soft. It's easy to work with. It has the look and the feel of leather, just not the smell. But anyway, I got to say, guys, for me, not being a professional upholsterer, I am pretty damned impressed with that. I think by the time this is hog ringed on, I think it's going to look pretty good. And that's awesome. You know, I could use something good for a change to go right, you know. But my plan for today was to get the metal work done and the foam piece cut out and spray glued to the metal. And then this is something I can do in my house in the living room floor on the throw rug in the evenings, like after dinner. That way, during the day, I can do all the stuff I need to do with the door up with all the light, because it is so dark in here with the garage door shut. And, you know, it's too dirty to be doing upholstery out here anyway. But I actually put that cover on, or started putting that cover on in my house on the throw rug so it wouldn't get so filthy out here. But I did come out this morning, and this whole main center area, I swept and mopped it. So messing with this foam laying around down here, it wouldn't, you know, get all nasty. But I'm pretty happy with it, man. And you know, I got to do some stretching and some pulling and hog ringing and that type of stuff, and then put some filler in there for some areas that have, you know, dips and stuff. But you know, it's going to take a little time for me to do that because I'm not a professional, obviously. But I'm impressed. I think it's going to work. And it just kind of sucks that I spent, whenever I bought those, I don't remember when I bought those, but I think those were like 120 or 30 bucks a piece for them spring packs. So, you know, 250 bucks for those that I'm not even going to use. So I don't remember what that foam was. That foam was not cheap, if I remember right. It wasn't super expensive, but foam is not cheap, by the way. But The rear seat, I'm just going to cut my foam out myself and do the back seat myself. I'm not buying the pre-molded, it's just too expensive. And I have several books here. I actually have 2 books that show pictures of them doing 55 or a Tri-5 Chevy rear seat. And they didn't buy the pre-molded set either. They cut their own, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I have 2 of these big pieces of this foam here to do the rear seat. But anyway, I'm pretty happy. It's I think it's going to work, man. Now I'm not doing this foam on the seat bottom itself. The spring pack is in good shape, and I've got all the seat springs pulled up, and everything's even all the way across. But anyway, I have the pre-molded foam that just goes directly over the burlap, which I used carpet. I've been noticing some of my upholstery books I have here that some guys use like carpet instead of burlap. And I have lots of different colors of carpet here, remnants, big rolls of it. So I'm going to use that because I don't have any burlap. But anyway, it's just what I'm going to use. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's, you know, for trying something, I'd never know if that was going to work if I didn't try it. And the beauty of it is, now that I know it works, I'll probably do it again. And I've got that 55 4-door out there I want to build for my wife, and I am hoping, because I'm cutting the other spring pack side out, the foam for the other side right here. So I'm hoping this piece here is big enough, full length, to cover the seat back on the 4-door. I'm hoping, so I don't have to buy another one of these later. But I'm going to replace that foam in the back of that, because somebody's already altered the spring packs on it, and they've got like the old school round springs in there. On the driver's side, it's like somebody's went in and wired all those in the driver's side. So that seat is fried, man, on the back. The bottom's fine, but the back's messed up. But hopefully I'll have enough foam to do that. If not, I'll have to buy another freaking piece of that. But when that time comes on that carpet. Anyway, I'm pretty happy. I've got, I was planning on doing wet sanding tonight on my doors, fenders, and stuff. I wanted to work on this stuff till like right after lunch. And then I was going to jump to this because it makes such a mess doing all the wet sanding, you know, makes a mess on the floor. I wanted to go ahead and do all that while it was dry in here, but it just ended up taking most of the day just doing that. But I plan on painting my parts Friday, so I think, you know, I've still got time to get all this stuff ready. So, you know, the paint is the biggest holdup, and once I get all them body panels painted, I'm going to let them set a few days, and I'm going to go in and sand and buff them. And then at that point, it's time to hang sheet metal. And then the car should go together fairly quick after that. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to jump off here, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get this other seat back finished up tonight. I'm not going to worry about hot ringing the covers on right now. This is something I'm going to do the upholstery part of it later. But I want to, while the welder's out, the foam's out, the electric knife's out, I want to go ahead and get the metal work done and the main section of foam cut out for that seat. And that way that part of it's done. And I could put my welder up and get the foam out of the way and all that stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. And that is your second video for today. But if you haven't subscribed, please do that. But thanks for watching.